the Lord. This is Apostle Cornel here. I know as I'm speaking, I'm not that famous. And as I'm speaking, I don't have this authoritative voice over my nation, Kenya. But I believe I have a genuine concern. Of late, God has put a burden as a watchman, God has put a burden over this matatu called Nyanga, Nyanga. And, when God puts a burden on a watchman's heart, to someone it may look light, but to me or to us, it's not light. God wants that business out of town. God actually made it clear to me that business is just portal for the demons, Satan like to hide in the name of just a thing, just an art, just a drawing. Yet we know that most of the images we see in this Nyanga's buses, actually some of the things we see in horror movies. And as a minister, I can tell you for free that we have prayed deliverance for kids under 10 who contacted demons after watching some movies, some horror movies, some playing some games. And it's hard to make parents understand that life is so spiritual, more than just to say it's just a game, it's just a movie, it's just a t-shirt draw, or it's just Nyanga, or it's just art in Nyanga. These people don't respect our God, but we take to them our money. They command what we must watch, because there's no any other vehicle going to that route, it's only them. So you get there, whether you're from church, you don't have a vehicle like me. You are going to preach somewhere, you don't have a vehicle like me. And many other Christians who are going to lead worship, to do ushering. And you get in that bus and all you see the screen that is next to you, because they put screen everywhere, is just nakedness, fornication, immorality. The works, everything the devil may want you to see. They force it into you. For instances, I thought that probably they respect customers, and I realized they don't. So I went one day and tried to ask them, can they change it? Because it was on Sunday, I was traveling to church. Can you change the music, please? We are going to church. Most of us are going to church. And you know what? They really don't bend down. It's not because the customer requested for them to put those dirty music. It's because they have intention why they want to put it there. They have a mission-minded. They want as many young men to have a defiled mindset. That's why many of our generation are addicted to it. My generation here, I've met people that confess that they're addicted to those. They can never go to any other bus but them. Not knowing that it's a portal of demons. It's a portal of demons. How can you put a skull of a dead man on a bus if it's an art? If it's just an art, brother or sister? If I take a skull of a dead man and I put it in your house, will you say that is just an art? If you're a Christian and you're saying, okay, that is someone's business, they just decorated it, is a work of art, and you're a Christian, then if your pastor take all those decorations and they put it as a background, will you say it's just an art? The activation of your consciousness when you see it in church, that is the reality of event even outside the church. That this is not just an art. This is an information to your spirit man to get familiar to the spirit of darkness that come through images. How do you get many men, do you know that many men, if I confess, do masturbation by just images? Because there's power in images. Power in images. Do you know why people pay billboard that big much, millions of money? Billboard, just drawings of their supermarket and what they sell. Because there's power over what we see. Over what we see. These people took advantage that if we try to avoid the ways of the devil, then they will bring devil to your marketplace. Not only in buses, but also saloons, but also supermarkets. Also kinyozis. You go to a Kenyan, there's a Kenyan I went and I walked out. You just see the naked women patched everywhere. Their intention, they think that all men would be pleased to see naked women around. But you know what? I cannot change them because it's theirs. But so there's one thing I can do. I can talk to you who is called in marketplace that it's time for Christian to sell their product Christ's way. So this is my call. This is what I'm praying for. That Christian in marketplace will sell their product Christ's way, displaying the glory of God. We can start to have our companies making our bags with Christ logos, making t-shirts with the drawings of that glorifies God, that does not defile our mind. We ought now, listen to me. I know that buses mean company are big, they need a lot of money. If you are in marketplace as a Christian, why can't we find investors? Why can't we join hands together and have the circle for Christian buses? That the rule of that is that we will only play gospel music, probably even strings, or probably in the evening when people are tired in their head, they can just have cool gospel instrumental. If they are going to a journey from Mombasa to Eldoret, from Mombasa to Uganda, they find a Christian bus that plays our Father's sermon. We have fathers who are very encouraging, very convicting sermons. We put them. We have good gospel Christian movies. We put for them so that we Christians don't get into buses at the mercy of the religion of the conduct. Sometimes you get into a bus and you know what? You are going to hear the Islamic voice as you start until you end, because you're at the mercy of the owner of the buses. Why can't we Christian withdraw from requesting mercy from people who own their own companies and own our buses companies, and ensure every art, from art to music to conductor to driver, is all Christ-centered? Because remember, if a bus is an altar, which there are altars, how many people go through that manyanga daily? How many people bow to the spirit of that manyanga, drawing snakes, skull, naked women, written pornographic images put all over, and they don't care. They really don't care. All we need to do is just to have excellency and respect to the customers. And you know what? They will change. Revival is not just prayer, it's taking action. I pray that people in marketplace, let's take the loophole where Christians are never there and fill those loopholes. Let Christ take over our markets. Let Christ take over our markets. Let Christ take over our markets. Shalom, and may God give you finances so that we may do his work in marketplace. Shalom, and God bless you.